Steady zone 2 jogging is considered to give you maximum cardiovascular benefits. But after a month of testing, I discovered that doing half steady, half walk jog interval works better. And there are 3 reasons for it. Why interval jogging works better than steady zone 2? That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya, a 63-year-old biohacker based on Japanese natural health and the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. In the last video, I shared with you how I switched from Nordic walking to jogging because I can make sure that I'm in zone 2 when I jog, which means I can make sure to increase longevity bacteria called butyrate producing bacteria. And it improves my muscle health and it improves my bone health. But actually, I don't practice steady zone 2 jogging. I do steady zone 2 jogging just half of the way. I do it for about 2.5 kilometers and then I switch to walk jog interval, which is between zone 1 and zone 2, and I do that for another 2.5 kilometers. So this is a 5-kilometer hybrid method. And this is what I call Japanese jogging technique. Now, if steady zone 2 is best for cardiovascular health and adds skeletal muscular benefits, why not just do 5 kilometers of steady jogging? Well, there are 3 reasons that I practice this hybrid approach. So that's what I'll be sharing with you today. First, I'll share with you the first reason, then the second reason, then the third reason, and next, doesn't interval jogging decrease the cardiovascular benefit? And then, doesn't interval jogging decrease the muscle health benefit? Doesn't interval jogging decrease the bone health benefit? And how the hybrid approach aligns with the centenarian's lifestyle? And finally, how to practice the hybrid approach. So please watch the video until the end. For those of you who just discovered this video today, this is the Ikigai diet channel, which is about how to increase health span for people over 50 or 60. So this is not a usual channel because often if you search under health and longevity, you find channels whose audience are younger people in their 40s, and often they are interested in athletic outcome as well. So sometimes the advice you get from those channels are not relevant to people over 50 or 60. But this channel is dedicated to people over 50 and 60, so you are in the right channel. I am the author of 4 books. I usually cover things like diet, exercise, mindset, and anything else that is related to increasing health span. So if you're over 50 or 60 and interested in health span extension, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Okay, the first reason, lower the injury risks. Jogging may not be suitable for seniors because it can damage your knees and other joints, and that is a common understanding. However, we need to understand the fact that why you injure your knees if you jog. Does jogging itself always cause knee injury? I think it depending on how you jog. So not so much about the jogging itself, but how you jog. For example, your running speed matters. If you are running at a zone 2 intensity, usually it is safer than running at zone 3 or zone 4. And running duration, not too long, because quite often some people run too long. And running frequency, not every day. Often people tend to run every day. They feel they have to run every day and they run too long and they run too fast. And the last element is your running form. You are not running in the correct form, and this happens if you're running too fast. Your form breaks down when you run faster. Why does it happen? Because many of you run for marathon races or 10K races or some kind of races. This is a common thing for runners or people who jog. They like to participate in certain kind of races, which isn't a bad idea because it motivates you to exercise. You want to have some kind of a goal, some kind of a opportunity to test your exercise. So I think taking part in races like that is okay. However, I personally don't recommend this. If you are exercising for longevity to increase your health span, this may not serve you well. Exercise to increase health span is completely different from athletic exercises. So you want to do away with an athletic mentality because we are conditioned to work harder in athletic culture. Once you started exercising for athletic purposes, you feel you need to win or you need to be better than others. And even though you need to relax, you cannot because you feel you'll be behind if you do that. You have to constantly work harder and improve your speed and everything. But that is not good for longevity. That is counterproductive for increasing your health span. You need to do away with that mentality. You don't need to be the best or even good. Accept to be mediocre. Mediocre is great. In fact, many of the centenarians are mediocre people. They are not so special. They are not the former football superstar, that type of people. It is kind of true that many of the people who end up living over 100 are ordinary people who just lead a quiet, healthy lifestyle, not a glamorous lifestyle, but consistent, healthy habit. And therefore, you don't need to become a super athlete. In Ikigai biohacking, we promote spiritual growth as well, not only the physical health span. And for the spiritual growth, this is very important because old age is a valuable period. It is a period where we can learn something that we cannot learn when we are younger. So old age offers the profound opportunity to accept its life decay, thus dissolving the ego's pursuit of greatness and the glamour of the world. So you want to be wise. Some people want to be young, but that doesn't mean you want to stay mentally young, meaning mentally childish. You want to grow out of that and be wise and not caught up by this competitive mindset. Okay, to sum up, you need to be careful with the running speed. Run slowly, not fast, and running duration, not too long, and running frequency, not every day. Give yourself some rest days. And running form, pay attention to the form when you run. Therefore, you want to run slowly enough to be able to pay attention to your form. So considering that, if you do 5 kilometer steady zone to jogging, like 3 times a week, every other day, you shouldn't injure your joints so much. But it depends on your fitness level. It is possible that some people might injure their knees. Therefore, you can use this approach. This walk-jog interval can mitigate the damage. It has a built-in recovery period. So the walking portions allow joints, tendons, and ligaments to decompress. Okay, the second reason, walking portions allow your mind to relax, which can stimulate your brain and give you an opportunity to meditate. Yes, meditation. So I talked about Shin-on Kansha meditation that during IWT, I practice Shin-on Kansha meditation during the the slow walking section of the IWT. In the same way, with this walk jog interval, during your walking section, you can meditate. And this is basically gratitude meditation, and that can put you in a positive mental state. It is very important to increase your health span. For the details of Shin-on Kansha meditation, please watch my other video. The actual title is Japanese Meditation While Japanese Walking, Ultimate Longevity Secret. In fact, that is something I miss once I switched from Nordic walking to jogging, because I used to meditate all the time when I Nordic walked, but during jogging, it became more difficult to do that. And that is why I incorporated this walk jog interval. Okay, the third reason. I get bored after doing a steady jog for 2.5 kilometers because it is a mundane and monotonous activity. Plus, I'm a little tired. So, by switching to this walk jog interval, it gives me a change and I can kind of start the new exercise. So I have a sort of refreshed feeling. So it really keeps me going, and it makes it easier for me to finish the second part of the exercise. Okay, so doesn't interval jogging decrease the cardiovascular benefit? Well, a steady zone 2 jogging offers more cardiovascular benefit than a walk jog interval. Most efficient for building aerobic capacity, and this is the gold standard for endurance training. However, in this hybrid approach, we still do steady zone 2 jogging for 2.5 kilometers, and then we do the walk jog interval for 2.5 kilometers. That means we are still doing some jogging in this portion. So we are doing this interval for about 4 sets. That means the walking section is just about 12 minutes, which is not a very long time, so that you're not losing your jogging time so much. So the difference is kind of small. Okay, so doesn't interval jogging decrease the muscle health benefit? Well, actually, it doesn't. The transition advantage for muscles. Walk to jog transitions work different muscle fibers. Acceleration and deceleration recruit more varied muscle groups. Variation prevents repetitive strain on the same muscles. Therefore, it does not reduce the muscle health benefit. It probably doesn't increase so much, but at least it does not reduce it. Therefore, you don't need to worry about it so much. Okay, doesn't interval jogging decrease the bone health benefit? Actually, it doesn't either. Steady zone 2 jogging provides consistent low impact loading that stimulates bone density moderately. But walk jog interval, the change in impact between walking and jogging gives intermittent loading patterns, which may be better stimulus for bone remodeling. Especially beneficial for older adults or those trying to maintain bone density without constant high impact stress. So again, I wouldn't say it increases bone health benefit more than steady jogging, but at least it does not decrease it. Therefore, you don't need to worry about it even though you switch to walk jog interval. Okay, to sum up, why walk jog interval works better than steady zone 2. It reduces injury risks. offers a meditative state, creates a change in monotonous exercise, yet it has limited reduction in cardiovascular benefit, increases in muscle health benefit, increases in bone health benefits. In that case, why not practice the walk-jog interval all the way? Well, steady zone 2 jogging still provides greater cardiovascular benefits, and muscle and bone health benefits of a walk-jog interval over steady jog are relatively small. Plus, you'll be doing 7 sets of interval if you do it all the way for entire 5 kilometers, which can be monotonous. So if that is the case, you might as well divide the session into 2. So in many ways, the hybrid is the sweet spot. Okay, so how the hybrid approach aligns with centenarians' lifestyle. In Kyotango, centurions don't jog. They usually walk, or they work in their garden. So which is more like a kind of a low to moderate intensity interval activity. Well, including their walking. Well, sometimes they do brisk walking, but still somewhere between zone 1 and zone 2. And then gardening is, yeah, I would say between zone one and zone 2. But they do a lot of interval because they, work and they stop, they work, or they, work fast, they work slowly and so on. So they do a lot of interval activity. So if you are to incorporate that element into modern exercise, interval training or this kind of a hybrid training seem to be closest to the centenarians' natural movement. For details about centenarians' natural movement, please watch my other video. The actual title is Blue Zone Exercises versus Modern Workouts, which is better for health and longevity. Okay, how to practice the hybrid approach, which I call Japanese jogging technique. First, I recommend that you do some kind of dynamic stretching. Then you do steady zone 2 jogging for 2.5 kilometers or, whatever you like, based on your fitness level. And then you switch to walk jog interval for another 2.5 kilometers. And then during your walk jog interval, you practice each one around 3 minutes. So 3 minutes of walking, then 3 minutes of jogging. So you do the interval of zone 1 activity and zone 2 activity. And include some backward jogging and walking that can further prevent knee injury and some strains on your joint. And you can do backward jogging and walking somewhere around 100 to 200 meters altogether. And you can practice this 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 45 minutes. So please include one session with 60 minutes length. And then after the workout, you can do some stretching. That can also mitigate the strain on your joint and muscles and everything. Make sure to have some rest days in between. So the best routine would be doing it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday so that you can have rest days on Tuesday, Thursdays, and the weekend. Or just rest whenever you are tired, even though it is the day that you're supposed to practice this, like, Wednesday. If you feel tired, you can skip it. Prioritize how you feel. Don't push yourself. Just do at your pace is the key. And the reason why you're including one of the 60-minute session is so that you can activate autophagy, the cellular recycling mechanism. According to Dr. Tommy Wood, Associate Professor of Pediatrics and Neuroscience at University of Washington, a 60-minute bout of low-level intensity aerobic exercise at approximately 50 to 60% VO2 max, which is about zone 1 and zone 2, upregulates autophagy as much as a 72-hour fast in humans. So, both walking and jogging can do that. So if you practice 60 minutes of walking, that is also fine. So you don't need to do always, jogging 60 minutes. So in some ways, you can do 45 minutes of Japanese jogging technique on Monday, but on Wednesday, you can do 60 minutes of walking or IWT or walk-jog interval. And then on Friday, you can do Japanese jogging technique for 45 minutes. Whatever the way is comfortable for you. Therefore, this Japanese jogging technique is for relatively fit people. And if you're not used to jogging, don't start this right away. In that case, I recommend that you do IWT first, interval walking training. So first you do the walking at a relaxing pace for 3 minutes. Then you switch to brisk walking, take large steps, swing arms widely, and open the chest for another 3 minutes. And you do that for 5 sets. So 30 minutes altogether. So you can start doing this. And then once you get used to doing it, you can include a jogging a little bit. So as the 6th set, you can do walk zone 2 jog interval, which is doing it like this. So walking at a relaxing pace for 3 minutes, then zone 2 jogging for another 3 minutes. And then once you get used to doing it, you can do the entire session with the walking and jogging interval for 5 sets for 30 minutes altogether. And then once you get used to doing it, you can start practicing this jogging approach. You need to increase the load gradually. That is the key. Anyway, that is one approach. If you want to know about other exercises or what kind of exercises are good to increase your health span, please read Chapter 5, The Ideal Exercise to Increase Health Span in Live Wiser, Not Smarter. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya, the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. If you like this video, please give me your thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And please leave your comment. Those of you who jog regularly, how do you reduce the strain on your knee and other joints? What are your tips to mitigate the damage? Please share your method in the comment section below. Thank you. Now, I talked about this video which talks about the Blue Zone Centenarians exercise. This is the video.